I am the Red Cyclone! Ah!
Hello, we are live. Welcome to another episode of the It Gets Better, I Swear podcast. This is coming to you from RedCycloneInc headquarters at an undisclosed location.
Dude's watching.
Just chilling back on her throne. This week it's me, Louis Beans, and Merc with the mic.
Yep.
And what we're gonna do this week is count through, not down, but as we count down to Infinity War, we're gonna go through each MCU movie in order, chronological order, right?
Yeah, we're not doing timeline order because that would be Captain America first.
Okay, so what we've you find a list of something that tells you everything?
Yeah. You know what? I'll post the list on our. I posted the list before on our RedCycloneInc's Facebook page.
All right.
I'll post it again when we do put out this podcast. Then I'll actually post the thing so you can follow through also.
All right. So what we're gonna do is Iron Man 1, The Incredible Hulk. What's the title for that one? Because
The Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk. That's the second one with Edward Norton, not the Ang Lee movie.
Ugh.
And Iron Man 2. Which is not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah. So we made this show before. We titled it The Verdict, which is pretty much our movie review. We did it for Batman vs Superman. We did it for quite a few. Remember? Were you there for the restaurant one?
No, I don't believe so.
Yes, we did a podcast in a restaurant and everything like that. So this is pretty much our verdict returning, and we get to review these movies for the first, seeing it for the first time in a while, I guess. When was the last time you seen any of these movies? Besides just now.
The last one I saw was Hulk, and that was like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe two.
Can you believe this is almost like 10 years old?
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, listen, I didn't watch The Incredible Hulk most recently out of these three. I ended up watching Thor, and that's 2011.
Yeah.
And 2011 CG does not hold up. It's sad.
Yeah. You see the evolution of the movies throughout the years.
Although I will say, I don't know if there was a lot of practical effects mixed in with Iron Man in the first one, but he looks pretty good. Outside of a few scenes, Iron Man looks really good.
They do a lot of things that they so they don't have to use CGI.
Mm-hmm,
This is something I gave a lot of credit to Avengers, and the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe is the fact that when they don't have to use CGI, they don't, and they find other ways to rely on it. I will be saying this a lot during the Captain America reviews because I love those movies so much, but they'll give you the feeling of certain things, and I love the way they do it. Like Iron Man, you feel when he fucking goes to Mach 3 flying. Because you hear the rocket boots and you feel the boost of the rockets when he fucking flies.
You know what? To be honest, these movies have very good sound design.
Yes. Honestly, I feel like their sound design just took my imagination when I'm reading these books and just put it on the movie.
The sound effects for the repulsor rays and his jets when he takes off, and the sound, even when he moves, Iron Man makes noise, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna go one by one. Usually, after this one, we're gonna do one a week because then we'll be caught up. Just because we didn't do the first 3 weeks, So these are the first three of the movies, and then next week will be Thor, and then we'll do them one by one each podcast. We'll do a verdict. It'll be a small little thing, and then we go into our regular show.
Mm-hmm.
The one that might get mixed up is Black Panther because it does come out in the middle of it, which we'll probably review it later on. So basically, we just still be in order.
Okay. All right.
And everything like that. So let's go with Iron Man 1.
So it pretty much, I don't know, it opens in a bombastic way. It sets, I guess it sets the tone for the entire universe, but can you explain to me Iron Man's origin? His original origin, was he captured?
Yeah.
Or okay. So is it holding true to the original origin?
It's holding to extent, yeah. It's holding to a bit to a certain extent that he was captured because of his weapons and everything like that, and pretty much to escape, he used the iron. He made the suit to really escape and everything like that.
He made the suit. Now, I would like to know. I know he wasn't known as Merchant of Death in the '60s or anything, but was he sort of like skirting the edge between, hero villain as Tony Stark with that whole thing where they knew that he was making all these weapons and people didn't like that, or was it a different time, a different place?
It was a different time, different place. So I think it was more accepted for him to be making the weapons. I think they made this movie more for the now time, so how people will react to it differently now than it was before. Because remember, Iron Man was created like around 1963, so during that time, it had a different mentality to it. So they made it more for the audience nowadays and what's going on now.
Okay, so you definitely see that. Well, I guess having you said that, now it makes more sense that the way they portray him is, I guess, a modern thing. Whereas, like, yes, he has this very cool rock star persona, but there's also this very serious side where he is a merchant of death.
Yeah.
His weapons end up making, people in other countries, afraid, and the people, the good guys don't necessarily use Stark equipment because sometimes some bad guys get a hold of it, and we see this.
Exactly. Like, and you could tell, like, during the beginning, Tony Stark was not really into the business like he was later on in the movie. The fact that he kind of ran it, but loosely.
Yeah, he wasn't paying 100%.
Yeah, so he knew that it was selling to our U.S. militaries and things like that, but he didn't know that someone in his company was selling the guns and missiles and shit black market, and that's why and pretty much he almost got killed with something he created.
Yes, and that seems to be a theme for the Iron Man movies, where it's him being betrayed, him being undercut by somebody else that's close to him or in his own, in that field. And also it seems to be a theme of his technology getting into somebody else's hands and being used against him.
Yeah.
So that trend seems to start here. And I mean, they do give an indication that the Mandarin is somewhat involved because this is his group, the 10 Rings. So, I mean, they were planting seeds early. Question mark. Do you know if there's going to be another movie for Iron Man specifically? Because I was wanting to say, it seems like with the 3 that are out, there is no Mandarin payoff yet. So, I'm wondering about that. The first movie, the main villain does kind of look like the Mummy. I don't know if that's the same guy. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I have to go back and look that up. But like for the first act, which is Iron Man becoming Iron Man.
Yeah. I lost connection for a second.
Okay, no problem.
So what I was saying was before
you continue, because they couldn't hear you.
Okay.
I was asking you if you know that there's going to be a follow-up movie to the 3.
There was rumors to have an Iron Man 4, but right now in the state, I don't think it's in its idea right now.
Okay, because I was asking that because the 10 rings does. If that's the case, as we follow the Iron Man path, the 10 rings doesn't pay off.
No,
because at this point, it's alluded to that there is a real Mandarin. And, as we go through the movies, we find out that, it gets deeper and deeper. And then to the crescendo of 3, even then to find out that, that guy's not the real one. So it's just a whole thing. But I was just asking is there a, does it look like there's going to be a payoff with that? But I guess not.
I don't think it's going to be because in the beginning, they were a terrorist group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Mandarin was a terrorist group, and they all wore a ring They all wore one of the 10 rings.
Yes. Okay.
It was like that. It was like a group. It was like a gang initiative with that, and they built them a little different than what they are in the comic book, like that. And then when you go to the third one, it goes through a different approach.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So So your main villain is the Ironmonger, which is one of the guys that were selling the weapons black market to people. And that was by what's his name? Jeff Daniels?
You mean the real guy? I was going to say, was it Jebediah?
Jeff Bridges.
What's his name? Obadiah. Excuse me. His name is Obadiah.
Yeah. And he's selling the weapons and everything like that. And he's probably like he was Tony Stark's father's partner.
Mm-hmm.
And then he pretty much thought the company would go to him, but it went directly to Tony Stark. And you can see that he's kind of don't like the fact that Tony Stark has the company under him.
Well, you could see the transformation when Tony starts paying attention.
Yeah.
Because for the first third, it's literally just him, patting him on the back and telling him where to go. And all smiles and chuckles and chummy until he realizes that Tony's not going to listen to him.
Yeah.
That's when he kind of changes his tune.
Yeah. And also in that sense, he kind of sent him to die when he was doing that weapon. He wanted him, he didn't expect him to live. He expected him to die.
That's the initial, treachery.
Yeah.
So basically, he was being played from the beginning. I don't want to say that all these movies have that, but there's a common theme in the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
is you're going about your business and you are being played by the person closest to you.
Yeah. So he pretty much got sent to die, but Iron Man lived. He was in prison, but he was kind of dying because he had the what is it called the bomb to what is it called?
Oh, shrapnel. Yeah.
They do that, and that's what went into his heart, and that's what was going to kill him. That's what kind of fucked up his heart as well. Which the prisoner that was with Iron Man was a robotic specialist or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he helped him build the first reactor, and pretty much got him. Then that's what pretty much kept Tony Stark from dying.
Yes.
It was the first reactor, which was made out of a bunch of shit that was inside the thing. It was not even a full. I think he got affected by it.
You mentioned the key ingredient was palladium, I believe it was, and that comes back up in 2.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. Like when he first gets the old school iron suit, that was a hype moment.
That scene was dope.
It was cool because you finally get to see it.
Yeah.
In motion.
Yeah. And
its practical effects, so it really looks good.
Yeah.
And because it's slow. It's not fast moving, so you don't need the CG.
It reminded me of RoboCop.
Yes, it reminded me of RoboCop. What's the second one? RoboCop 2, the big one.
Yeah.
But the thing that was cool about it was practical effects, so it looked really good because it was actually there.
Yeah.
Also, they injected a bit of humor into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the part where he gets his arm stuck in the wall when he tries to smash the guy. Swat the guy that's next to him. there's and that's one of the things that Iron Man throughout it does really well is the humor.
Yeah.
Because Tony Stark himself is humorous, and that translates to Iron Man being humorous, and it just most scenes that he's in, it's like the movies. I don't want to say it's 10 times better, but it's like every time Robert Downey's on screen is pretty much a better movie.
Yeah.
Than him not being on screen. I don't know. He brings a levity to the movie that I think is one of the reasons why the Marvel movies do so well.
Yeah.
Is that they kind of make you feel good.
Yeah.
And the DC ones kind of make you feel like crap. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I maybe this wasn't the trend of that though. This couldn't have been the first Marvel movie that had that very lighthearted feel. Yeah, Spider-Man was like that. So, but I mean, you can say that about Superman with Christopher Reeve.
Well, this is the first cinematic universe one, Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they wanted to set a tone with it. And Robert Downey, like I said, like even Chris Evans, like I said in the review, no one could replace Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Like he was born to play Tony Stark. He looks like fucking Tony
Stark. Is Tony Stark, man.
Exactly.
The only thing is he has the money. He just doesn't make weapons. That's all.
Yeah. But his career was pretty much Tony Stark. Because when he had his downside, it was Tony Stark as well. He was alcoholic and all that shit, and he almost fucking destroyed himself doing it.
Yep.
Just like Robert Downey Jr.
Yes. So he knows.
So it is like a way to just like, oh, this is you in a fucking nutshell kind of thing. And I think they picked correctly. Like I think he brought a lot to Iron Man, and to this day, that no one else is going to could play Iron Man because of him.
It's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah,
it's going to take a lot of time.
A lot of time, or they have to just change the character completely and maybe bring the girl in.
Well, shit, not even that. It's just like as long as Robert Downey's attached to these movies, the character of Iron Man seems to feel wrong if it's not written like Robert Downey. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So he's got to be not attached to it anymore for it to start to feel different.
One thing I love about this movie is the trial and error. Of Tony Stark. Like everything he built and shit like that has fucked up. Like the iron, like when you said the hand went into the wall and you couldn't get it out the wall and everything. So that was a pretty cool scene. And then you had when he was building the suit and his fucking equipment he talked to, and like everything he talked to and everything had a character. Even a fucking robot that fucking always did something stupid. It had a character. Like it made you laugh because it did stupid shit like a dog, and it's like
he talked to it like it was. Yeah, he talked to it like a dog.
Yeah, too. Exactly. And those are, I think that's what made you fall in love with the character. The fact that it was a trial and error, and watching him build this suit, and watching him fuck up the suit, and watching him fuck up his whole house because of this suit.
But he also had fun.
Yeah, he had fun doing it. It became like his new Ferrari. It became that new car he was building and shit. And I just loved it. Like I felt the character. You know what? Before this, I've never really cared for Iron Man. I was never a big fan of Iron Man. I was never crazy about the character. I didn't know a lot about Iron Man until this movie actually showed me that Iron Man can be fun. Then I started actually looking up in back books of Iron Man.
Really? Okay. Because I'm like the opposite. Like from the 90s, I was a fan of Iron Man because he was in video games and he had his own cartoon. Wasn't great, and he had action figures.
Damn.
So yeah, like I was straight up. He was maybe a top 5 superhero for me.
Yeah.
At the time, because once you get your own cartoon, you're the man. But like, I don't know. I think about it now, and there's this thing where the consensus is that this movie made Iron Man, and I could see it on one hand, but I also have to say that he was never a C tier hero.
Yeah,
and he was almost never like B tier.
I say he wasn't
in popularity, but like as where he was in the roster, he was never B tier.
I'll say he wasn't as established as a comic character now than he was before. As in, this made him a mainstay. It made him like one of the he's one of the characters that's always on the Marvel side now. Before it wasn't.
What do you mean?
If you saw Marvel, you always saw Wolverine, Spider-Man, Hulk, Captain America.
Well,
those are the main ones you always saw.
See,
nowadays, you always see Iron Man on that marquee.
I know what you mean. He's now front and center, but like, I think
he always had something.
That's the non-comic book stuff now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's front and center because comic book wise, he was always. You know how you're big when your head is constantly in the bottom of the comic book.
Yeah.
You know that little rectangle.
Yeah.
That used to have like the character's head. They would always be like Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man.
Yeah.
Always.
So I think it helped bring popularity to Iron Man more than establishing him.
Yeah.
So
like everything was red and gold.
Yeah, everything like kids started loving Iron Man and stuff like that. And those are the things that changed for Iron Man because Iron Man was never really a kid's book.
Mm-mm.
It was never a character that a kid could relate to.
Mm-mm.
It was more mature audience readers than like a child reader. Like if a kid picked up an old Iron Man book, they probably won't get it.
Why is my 10-year-old an alcoholic? How dare you?
I feel like a younger person would not get the book, and I feel like now like how they put him, they made him versatile in that audience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, that is weird though that Wolverine is one of those characters though. I'm just
Wolverine is always then you got to realize also X-Men's popularity went to everything because it was on Fox 5. It was.
No, I don't mean that. I just mean that a character who has claws that come out of his hand and he is known for murdering people is so popular with children.
Yes.
That's what a yellow and blue costume will do for you. See?
Yeah. If brown and tan, he won't be on front.
Yellow and blue. Gotta be yellow.
Like, hey! He's smiling too.
He's smiling as he's murdering. It's okay.
So this, I'll say, Iron Man was probably one of my favorite movies of the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. My favorites are the Captain Americas, like trilogy wise. I think those movies are fantastic. But this one standalone was probably one of my favorites because you really saw the character of Tony Stark. You saw the building of the suit. I love the fact that they took as much time as they did building the suit to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And it still wasn't perfect.
and the other thing I like about it was that not only did they take the time to show you everything, that it was filmed the right way.
Yeah.
The way the movie could have been filmed, it could have been wrong for the movie. Like it could have looked different and it could have looked awkward and it could have, the way everything was filmed was great. You could see everything clearly. They gave you clues and hints and it was like a good movie as well as being a good superhero movie.
I think Jon Favreau really understood the character. I think this is the character that he really wanted to do, and I think there was a lot of love into the character.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was not just to make money. It was a lot of love built in that character, and that's why usually when I see him as a director of other things like Jungle Book and shit, I'm not skeptical because I was like, yo, he usually puts a lot of passion into the movies.
I like that food truck movie he did. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Chef was really good. Yes. It'll make you want a Cuban sandwich every time I watch it. I'm like, I'm about to roast some pork and make me a Cuban. But Jon Favreau is a really good director in that sense, and he did 1 and 2. He didn't do the third one, so you can see the difference of the 1 and 2 to the
But
third.
he's in it though.
Yeah, he still plays the character. He's still like he's Happy Hogan in the movies. He's even in Spider-Man as the character as well. So at least they established him as that character.
Okay.
So he's always going to be that character, and he always will love. He loves the character Iron Man and stuff like that. He didn't do the third one because he had other projects he had to do for Jungle Book and things, so he wasn't able to do Iron Man 3. I think he'll be back for Iron Man 4 if they do Iron Man 4.
Okay.
But I love his direction of this movie. I think he did a really good job in actually telling a story to how to get Tony Stark liked and everything like that. He added the humor, he added the action. The villain was good because the way he used, and he also showed that there are other weapons he made that hasn't been like out there yet. So the one that stunned his whole body and he was dying.
Oh yeah. The
That was like
paralysis.
that was never like a weapon that was actually sold. It was one that was tested but never got approved, and that was what he was telling about. Like, oh, this is all your fault because I could have made so much money off of these things, and you decided to be, you decided to act the owner now, and now you're fucking up my shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. I was gonna say, what did you think of the actual villain itself? The what is it, Ironmonger?
Ironmonger, you know what? I was fine. I was happy with it because they didn't try to like really enhance him, because Tony Stark was the one that really put in the technology and everything like that. So not everyone that's gonna try to copy him is not gonna get it the way Tony Stark does.
Got you. Okay.
So and because you got to realize also, Iron Man always tinkering. Tony Stark is always tinkering with things. Every fucking time he puts on that suit, there's probably something new he'll add to it because he's tinkering with it.
Mm-hmm.
He's always playing around with it. He's always trying different things. When he finds new technology, he's always trying different things with that. So I like that aspect of Tony Stark as well, as the fact that he's always playing around with the suit, always adding things to the suit, and so every movie you never get the same suit.
Also,
Every movie you get updates and shit.
I like the foreshadowing of War Machine.
Yeah.
With the,
yeah, you had Terrence Howard this time as James Rhodes, and they kind of hinted a War Machine, which was pretty much the Mach 2 suit, which was the silver one that he was using. That's where he pretty much they built off of War Machine. I did like a lot of the subtleties. The Gwyneth Paltrow character, I think she fit the character as much. I'm not a crazy fan of Gwyneth Paltrow, but she fit the character. I think her and Robert Downey Jr.'s chemistry on the screen actually works really well because they always arguing and bickering with each other, and it actually works because that's pretty much how they are in the comic as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, that really worked well.
Yeah, like I really love this movie. Like from front to end, I think it was entertaining. Rewatching it again, I found a lot of subtleties that I haven't recognized before. I just really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun watching it again. Again, going to the sound effects, to the look, I like the fact they didn't try to use CGI for all the scenes. Like Iron Man was actually an Iron Man suit as well. That was a live action suit that fucking Tony Stark had to wear. So I like that it wasn't an all CGI suit. It was actually an actual fucking suit. So I like a lot of those subtleties. I like a lot of the things. I love the whole creation of the suit and all the fucked up things, and him falling through the ceiling and him blowing shit up, and him like the trials and error, and him almost killing himself to just test things out and things. I love that whole aspect of it. It just made this movie so much fun. So this was probably one of my favorite ones. Definitely watch Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 is probably one of the strongest movies of building a character, and this was probably one of my favorite ones.
Yep, I agree with that. Definitely, the movie itself is better than a lot of the other superhero movies, period.
Yeah. So
on that strength alone, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, and the great thing about it too is it's a different superhero movie. It was not your straight up bad good thing. It was the dude kind of did fucked up shit, but now he's kind of correcting it with his weapons and everything like that. And one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when he flew to the country and destroyed all of the weapons that he had. It was the first time he actually wore the suit in red and gold.
Yes. Oh yeah, when he helped those people.
Yeah. I did like the fight scenes. I did like the subtleties of the fight scenes, and actually the sound effects just work so well with the movie as well.
True enough. Like I said, the sound design was spot on. Like everything you thought should sound like what you would think of in a comic book came through.
Yeah. So watch it. This is week 1. This was Iron Man. Definitely, it's worth watching. Go to the next one.
Yes, sir.
So movie number 2 was The Incredible Hulk. This was starring Edward Norton. This was pretty much a revamp of the Incredible Hulk because the first one was fucking terrible as shit.
Boring. It was really boring.
Oh god, it was so long and boring.
Like I was just sitting there like, why?
Yeah. So this one shows that Bruce Banner was learning how to control his anger with meditation and all that shit. He went to South America to kind of hide and get away from everything. His blood somehow got into a soda. And almost killed Stan Lee. Yeah, so like pretty much they were just building his character, going that, learning how to control his anger, trying not to get angry and turn into the Hulk again. He'd been trying to channel it and everything like that. So that's pretty much the basis of the movie, of him controlling the Hulk. This was another good one. I say the good reboot. I liked it, Edward Norton in it, but I actually kind of prefer Mark Ruffalo so far playing Hulk.
Mm-hmm. I like him as a better physical Dr. Banner.
Yeah.
Because he's smaller and not imposing at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I guess we've gotten more attached to Ruffalo.
Yeah. So so this is Thunder Ross. So pretty much you see Thunder Ross still looking for Hulk, and they recently seeing the blood that fell in the soda actually reached America. Stan Lee was the one that drank the soda and almost died, and then Thunder Ross heard the report. Hearing the report, he actually found the location of Bruce Banner.
Okay.
So he sends a bunch of militaries there, and they try to capture him. And then this would be the first time he's actually, they try to send him like that. But there was a gang that was like trying to fuck with him. Like I think he was talking to this girl, and that was the first time you actually see the Hulk. What do you think of the Hulk design in this movie?
Way better than the first movie. I'll tell you that much.
He looked like more like the comic book Hulk.
Mm-hmm. This is
more
true.
than anything. Yeah, he looked more like the Hulk that we usually see on like posters and stuff. Not like the current Marvel Hulk, but more of like the savage looking Hulk.
Mm-hmm. I just like how I don't know. I like how he moved.
Yeah.
Like how, like they gave subtleties to the way the Hulk was, because the Hulk, has very limited language.
Yeah.
And mostly acts out physically.
Yeah.
And like just, I guess maybe they had to be more on top of the game with the CG for the Hulk, because the Hulk is all CG.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He just looks really good.
Yeah, they did a better job. One thing I give this movie credit to is that they kind of explained the pants.
Oh yeah.
Because he was always looking for sweatpants, stretchy pants.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when he does turn into Hulk, it grows up so he won't be naked. So that was something I gave it credit to. At least they actually make explanations for him wanting, like, wearing certain shit. It's crazy how everything goes. But with the Incredible Hulk, it's going through a lot of things. You have Thunder Ross like searching for him, looking for him. Did this stop or is it still live? So you still have Thunder Rock going live and everything like that. He's going after Bruce Banner. When he goes to South Africa, you see the first the guy that pretty much is pretty much their main commander, so like they're going after Hulk with all the weapons and everything, and they're still going with it. One of the big points of this movie was Hulk was trying to find cures, I think, for the Hulk gene, so he kept messaging. He kept messaging the Hulk. He kept messaging this guy that was helping him study the Hulk and his blood. So basically, he sent him a thing of his blood. Him sending the blood was actually getting samples of everything and teaching him how to do everything. and trying to find a cure for the Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just acting crazy.
Technical difficulties with Hangouts here.
Yeah, I was
But we're still.
playing. So the big thing I forgot to mention was I just mentioned now was the him messaging met someone that actually was trying to study the gamma radiation in his body and how to stop it. And
Okay.
he kept messaging this guy. He was Mr. Green. He was Mr. White, I think, or Blue. And they kept messing each other. Which little by little, you see him later on in the movie. He was the one that was actually the one that gave Thunder Ross the blood
Mm-hmm.
to actually make his own Hulk.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's the
And
foreshadowing. Yeah.
And he also did it himself. And if you noticed what happened to him, it hinted another villain of the Hulk universe coming into the movie, probably if they had a sequel and whatnot, which was the leader. But yeah, it was a lot of subtleties with the new powers and them trying to build a Hulk. That was pretty much the basis. Thunder Ross wanted to build his own Hulk, and he was trying to hunt him down so he could get a sample of his blood to build his own super soldier.
Yeah.
Okay. And this goes to also Captain America, and this was like hinting the super soldier serum is still in the cinematic universe, and they're trying to make their own kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. See, I can see that. I mean, it makes me sad that because I don't know if the Hulk got put on hold after the whole thing. Because why didn't Edward Norton come back? Was it he wanted more money, or he didn't want to do it anymore?
He wanted more control of the character, and he was also a pain in the ass to work with when they did this movie.
Okay.
He kept changing scenes. He kept like, I don't like this, I don't like that. I should do this, I should do that, and he was being pretty much a pain in the ass in the film. That's the reason why he left. And then he also didn't want to be part of the big Avenger thing.
Oh, really?
No,
did not know that.
He didn't want to sign a multi-movie deal. He wanted control of the movie. Yeah.
Shit. All right.
Which go for show for this movie, him being in control work. I actually liked the movie. I thought the movie was good, but I understand that he could be a pain in the ass to work with as well.
Yeah, I know that can produce bad movies, so you don't want to increase the chances by letting that guy run the show all the time. I get it.
So, one of my favorite scenes is the college scene.
Oh yes. Yeah.
The college scene is probably one of my favorite scenes. They go to Edward Norton goes to the college, and they introduce another character in the Hulk universe that wasn't really in this one as much, but by the name wise, Samson.
Oh yeah. Okay. Who was Samson? The guy helping him?
Yeah. Well, it was Liv Tyler's character's friend.
Oh, that was. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a little break right here just to remind you to follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, also on SoundCloud. What we do is we have this podcast, the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. We also have the Wrestling Babble podcast that's hosted by Merc with the Mic, who's a frequent guest on my show. And that should be on Merc with the Mic on SoundCloud. We post those on YouTube as well, so you can check the Merc with the Mic podcast out on his YouTube channel, which is also Merc with the Mic. And also you can catch the It Gets Better I Swear podcast as well as the various other playthroughs on the RedCycloneInc YouTube channel. Thank you. Okay, so you were telling me about your favorite part of the Hulk movie?
Yeah.
And what was that?
The best the best part of the Hulk movie was the big fight scene in the college. The college scene was fucking great because you saw Hulk just destroyed everything. He destroyed tanks. He took a police car, broken in half, made boxing gloves out of it. And then the one big scene, and then you see their super soldier, which pretty much was running faster than everyone, jumping over everything, fucking doing shit as well, and being strong and all that stuff. He steps up to the Hulk, and Hulk kicks the living shit out of him. He bounces off the floor and goes right into a tree. I've laughed so hard in that scene. I love that scene.
I think everybody in the theaters burst out laughing.
Yeah.
What I can remember.
You know what's funny? Hulk always has those moments.
I like that, though. I like that.
I love that he has them. Like, everyone doubts him because he's not intelligent, but then he does that mean fucking thing.
Yes.
That's like,
yes.
Then you just see it and you're like, yo, that's the Hulk. That's what I always see in Hulk. That's what I love about Hulk. He did it with Loki. He did it with everybody, and it's fucking great. I love it.
You know what I like so much about it is that that's one of those things that could have been done so wrong.
Yeah,
it could have been too cartoonish.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know when they got really good at making people get thrown around look good, but they did.
Yeah, and I feel that's another thing they kind of took from the comics. They're like, all right, well, how the comic book would do this.
Mm-hmm.
And not just how realistically how should it be done, how it would look in the comics, and then they went from there.
Yep.
But I love that scene. That scene was fucking hilarious, and to this day, I still get such a good laugh.
I still vividly remember that scene. So yeah, that stuck in my head.
So after he got his ass kicked into a tree, they did the third stage of the super soldier serum, which they mixed the gamma blood into it, and then it made Abomination. Yes. Abomination was the main, final villain. I say Thunder Ross was the main villain, and then he was the other villain that he actually fought.
Okay. Which is standard. I mean, Thunder Ross, he's the father. He's Betty's father, and he hates the Hulk.
Yeah.
So that's the main villain of Hulk's life.
Yeah. And then he actually becomes a Hulk.
Yeah, he does. See, that'd be so cool. I wonder if they're gonna do Red Hulk eventually. Yeah.
You know what's funny about that is the fact that he like his mustache burns off when he becomes the Hulk, and then he goes back when he comes back to human.
Amazing.
Does it really?
Thunder Ross doesn't have a mustache. Like the Red Hulk don't have a mustache.
That's pretty good.
Story.
And then when he goes back to Thunder Ross, he has a mustache.
It's like the pants. It stretches and it goes away.
So the mystery.
Too far. What's up, Commander Farrell? How you doing? And did you watch any of these movies?
Sorry for the late entries. I did, and I commented a little earlier on the very much piggybacking on what Merc had to say about the character writing and development in Iron Man 1. We watched it over with the wife, and I won't spend too long on this because you've done it already, but just yes, that was a big deal for me. It was like I said it to the wife while watching it. I said they gave more background and character development for the stupid robotic arm than for most characters in other movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's the care that went into that movie. I said after watching it, it's like, this is why. Like I almost had the same exact feels of when I went and saw that film in the theaters. Like, it's timeless. It's timeless, and it's like this was a really good film. Like just all in all, it's like
just a movie,
right. And then in my comment that I put, because people can't read this and hear what I said, is that Tony Stark himself in the character is wonderfully flawed.
Yeah,
he feels human. He's the most that's immediately relatable, and his even though as much as you can relate to a billionaire genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, true enough. True enough.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, he is super, but he's still a human being. He has character flaws. You know what I mean? He has struggles. He has issues. Money isn't everything. It helps as he well elocutes in the movie. Is that it's great to have, but it's not everything. And he had to also learn that, in what the events that took place in the film. So I'll jump back forward, so I won't take too much time on that.
So we're talking about the Incredible Hulk. We're towards the ending of the movie wise. When the third use of the super soldier serum with the gamma, and made Abomination. And Abomination just started wrecking shit. There was a big thing before that. It was the guy that was helping Edward Norton find out Bruce Banner find out a cure for the Hulk. He made him a serum which they forced to give to him, so there was a big chance that he was not going to turn into the Hulk when he got thrown off the helicopter. But our hero came back. He came in, and they fought in Harlem. It's like a gang fight.
They really made a big deal.
It wasn't
know that it was Harlem.
Yeah.
awesome fight. Like they clashed right in front of the Apollo. Like
Yeah.
that shit was awesome.
You know, I like the fact they chose a different area besides Midtown Manhattan.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
it was in the middle of Harlem.
Like we can tear up Harlem too. It's okay.
it.
It's a race. It's not a race thing. It's two big green monsters fighting. It can happen to anybody.
And I really loved the. You know what, the CGI did a really good job in capturing the big fight between them. I think the this is another movie and sound effects really helped the movie because you feel the bass in the hits. And when you hear that, you feel like the hit was like probably supernatural kind of hit kind of thing.
Yeah, not like a regular person punching somebody.
Exactly. And again, you'll hear me saying this a lot, especially with the Captain America movies. They make you feel the hit.
Yeah. Also, she's saying, "Oh yeah, we've talked about this, Mark. Yeah. And I've talked about it numerous times on the podcast. Here is the weight.
Yeah.
The weight you feel when people hit and the collision.
Yeah.
Things don't need to look like cartoony and be spongy when they get hit. I want a nice solid hit that look like it had weight behind it and the blow is taken. That's why I like. I love. Now let's be clear again. I say it again. I love high flying, crazy martial arts movie, but I also love. I love partial grapple takedown moves like you said, like Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
Where, like they're fighting. Like I want to feel like you're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
I want to, you know what I mean? And it's like that's all about a good fight choreographer and director.
And it is. I always want to add to what you're saying. I don't know how they added great fight choreography to CG, but the fight between Hulk and Abomination, like they get brutal
because
he
it is
stabs him with his elbow.
Because it is fight choreographed. It is.
Yeah.
They have the bodysuits and shit.
True enough.
Sometimes it's mocap.
Yeah,
but like you see it, like when he grapples him and he stab, like he's trying to choke, he's trying to snap his neck.
Yeah,
and then he stabs him in the chest with the bone.
Yeah,
the
like
back
that
of
shit
his
is,
elbow.
and then he snaps it, and it's like, ooh, that, ooh. Oof.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I truly loved it. I really enjoyed it. The fight scene was really good. I said this is another one that was just really fun to watch. You know what? Most of these movies are really fun to watch. I say there's not a lot of bad ones, and there's going to be a lot more positive than negative because they did a good job building these movies. So there's going to be more positive things. There's probably one or two that are negative, but there's going to be positive.
Right. Most of these
this was another one.
There's like movies. There aren't any. I'll hesitate to say that because you can definitely correct me in German. It's like there aren't any that are just
in phase
bad.
one.
There's not right. There aren't any that are just bad. There's wow, this is really great, and this is serviceable. I can watch this and I cannot watch this again. You get what I mean? There's not just god awful. Like why did they do this? There's this was really good, and there's that's fine.
Yeah. Phase one though. We're doing phase one right now, and none of the movie. There was not a bad movie in phase one. I think every movie did its course. Every movie told the story that built into what the final product was, which was Avengers. So I think everyone
Captain
did their
America
job.
1 was phase 1, right?
It was phased order, but it's gonna be for when it came out. It was the last one before Avengers.
So that's the end of phase 1, right?
Yeah.
It was still in phase 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like for most people that I talked to, it's like Captain America. That first movie was kind of like it was fine.
I loved it.
Other people, but I enjoyed the movie as well. But it was.
But we're not talking about it, so let's not.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks from now
when we get there. Gotcha.
Yeah, we're talking about the movies the three of them that we like that. So we're doing the first 3 weeks. So which is Iron Man, Iron Man 2, and Incredible Hulk. So we're not going to go that far into it. We did talk about the bonus scenes. The first Iron Man 1 was the first meeting of Nick Fury and Iron Man. This was also Iron Man 1 was also the first appearance of Coulson.
And when we get introduced to the strategic homeland and enforcement and institutions,
that whole thing.
And at the end, S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. And then the bonus scene of Incredible Hulk was Tony Stark and coming in to talk to General Ross.
Right.
Okay.
Pretty much those are the two building the story building
Right.
things going into the next one.
The link.
Yeah, exactly. Incredible Hulk, definitely watch it. It's on HBO Go and Amazon Prime
Yes, yeah, I was on Amazon.
and on Hulu.
$3.
No, it's free.
It's free on. No, okay. I mean, if you wanted to buy it, it was $3. I saw.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, rent it was $3. You can rent and
gotcha.
buy. So yeah, you can see it for free on HBO Go if you have them. Hulu Plus and Amazon Prime. Iron Man 1 you could also see on Amazon Prime and
Prime
Hulu.
for free. Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime. 2 you had to rent.
Yeah. So next one is
Iron Man
the
2?
big sequel of Iron Man 2.
I take everything I said back. It's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Having watched it again, it's not. The one part I didn't really like was just the villain.
Okay.
I don't mean Mickey Rourke's portrayal. I just mean the villain itself. I was like, I felt kind of like what you said was. I wish he was two different people
Yeah.
instead of making Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash one guy.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's about it.
Like this is something in this starting in the beginning of the movie that I did like, and I kind of missed that point in the beginning, and which made me like this movie more because it showed why you do secret identities.
Yes.
Iron Man pretty much outlandish saying I am Iron Man and telling the world that he is Iron Man. So now every person that had a little beef with Iron Man is like, all right, we're gonna fuck you up now. We know where you at.
No, certainly that is
So
the thing of a hero is like you do that to protect not even if you have that bravado, it's you do it to protect the ones you love, not necessarily yourself.
Yeah.
It's like
so
Also, the other thing they showed was the copycat syndrome.
yeah. So pretty much this is something they built in the they kind of started in the beginning, but they really went more into it. The beginning scene is he's in a courthouse explaining himself and why he doesn't want to give his suit to the military or anything like that. It's his suit and he'll help you out as much as you can, but you cannot have his suit. So that was the basis of it. Basically, they was pretty much trying to make a war army with the Iron Man suits and shit like that. And Justin Hammer was trying to get the contract for everything, and pretty much Tony Stark just blew his spot up by hacking into the computer and actually showing that he was selling the robots to other fucking things, and which canceled their contract with him.
And well, you got to see everybody else's attempt at an Iron Man.
Yeah.
So you got to see North Korea's, which looked like a Ed 209.
Yeah.
Strapped with missiles and Gatling guns, even more. And it falls, and then, then you get the other one in the desert that like just blows up, and then there's the one where Justin Hammer is present, where he tries to show the guy to follow him, and you don't realize it when you see it, but you realize it when the robot spins counterclockwise and snaps the person inside in half. You realize there was a man in there.
Yeah,
it's just, that shit is it shouldn't be funny,
crazy,
but it's framed hilariously.
Yeah, so they did a good job with that and explaining what this movie's basically about. And then Mickey Rourke's character is pretty much someone that worked with his father was someone that worked with Tony Stark's father,
Howard Stark,
and pretty much fucked him over on the patent of the technology they made. So pretty much he just wants revenge on Tony Stark, and pretty much shows. And when he found out the identity of Tony Stark, he was like, "All right, I want to go kill you now."
Yes, and I guess he knew he had to beat his ass at his own game, so he made that suit.
Yep, he made the first Whiplash suit, which we'll talk about a bit. So the beginning of it, that's pretty much he was in court and everything like that, and then pretty much Iron Man started drinking lithium, I think it is, to calm the heart down because he was still using the same old reactor. And
he fashioned some new system where he has a thing where he takes out the little cartridge.
Yeah.
Which is apparently the thing that was in the first movie called palladium. It's a mineral.
Yeah.
And I think it's highly radioactive, I think it is.
Yeah, and it started
in real life, I think it's highly radioactive. So it's killing him, yeah.
Yeah, it's killing him slowly, but he's not really telling anyone that he is dying. And he's drinking lithium to calm it down, but he's getting really fucked up by it too.
It looks like he has a techno-organic virus, but that's not what it is.
Yeah. So it's like starting to build on him and everything, and that's pretty much another thing, a part of the movie that is there. So you have Justin Hammer he's probably one of the villains, and then you have Whiplash, which is the other one, which my disappointment was they try to make him two villains instead of one. They should focus on one or the other. But I liked him as a villain.
I like when he first shows up. That's probably one of the coolest parts of the movie when he just comes in and wrecks shop and slices those F1 cars in half in the pieces.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't really explain the aside from how strong the whips are, how strong is the guy? Because he gets crushed by a car. Because they come to save Iron Man and they smash a Bentley into him.
But it wasn't going that fast.
Well, I know, but like a man getting run, just mashed up against a wall by a car, that's still
it doesn't have to. It could be going 5 miles an hour. If it pinned him, a Bentley's probably a 4,000-pound car.
But also like there's a little bit of I don't know if it's foreshadowing or if it's attention to detail. You see when he's laying there after he first gets hit, you see the back of the thing start to move, but you see one part in particular and it looks like it activates something that like starts to rejuvenate the guy, and I don't know if they make that clear if that's what's happening or not.
Yeah,
I see.
So I wonder exactly what are the limits of his suit.
Yeah, they didn't really explain that in a sense, and especially it wasn't a full suit; it was just for like a chest piece kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Like an exoskeleton, but not the entire.
Like an exoskeleton.
Exactly. So they didn't really explain everything like that. Scene was probably dope. This was one of the other things that you see in a lot of these Iron Man movies, and I think you see him in anytime Iron Man showed up, there's a new way of him putting on the suit.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
Well, what dropped out? Wait.
Fun. Oh yeah. Hello.
Well, hopefully he'll pop back in before we're done. But anyway, like the part he was talking about was like every time he showed up, there was a new way to get in and out of the suit for Tony Stark.
Yeah.
They had the suitcase.
Cool thing. Like I said it to the wife in the first movie. After we watched it. It's like I would say, the first time you see him fully suit up, with the robots putting it on him, it's probably one of the fucking coolest scenes in cinema.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Period. When it first, I was just sitting there on my TV looking at it and just going, "Oh my god!" Especially everything leading up to this point.
And you see all the bells and whistles and how everything goes on and everything too.
Exactly. It really was a good look inside. It's like, how does it, these things, how modular it is. This is why he's able to move and all this other good stuff. It's like, okay, this was something special. I mean, granted, later on it got silly. It's like, that can't work. But it was fantastic for its time.
I did love the suitcase suit. I did like the style.
It was amazing to see that.
Yeah.
It was amazing how that worked.
And I also liked the color because it wasn't gold and red. It was like a silver and red at this time. So it paid homage to the old 80s Iron Man with the silver and red.
I'm just mad it got messed up right away.
Yeah, I know. It got fucking blown up the first time he used it and everything like that. This is also...
Well, hold on. Before we go too much further, because we missed a part in the beginning where the way the movie opens up is like the complete opposite of the other movie. He's not in the desert, he's not in a humble environment and nothing like that. He's on a grand stage. At first you think he's flying through like artillery strikes or whatever, and it turns out those are fireworks. And he's flying down to his fair where he has the giant the machine to take off the suit outside, and it's just the part with the like his rockets, essentially.
Right.
And I was just like, this is the most elaborate, ridiculous thing.
It was like a StarkCon or something like that.
Yeah,
it was a big.
It
a big.
It's the World's Fair. It was basically what it was, but I guess in the Marvel universe, the World's Fair was created by Howard Stark.
Yeah, so it pretty much was him showing the new technology, what they're using, and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And also, like if you actually watch Down the Road, and the little secret thing was the first appearance of Spider-Man in that con.
Really?
Right, the kid.
Yeah, the little kid with the Iron Man helmet.
Oh, okay, I got
That's
you.
supposed that's supposed to be Spider-Man.
Does
Yeah,
it
it's canon. They say that.
continuity wise? That's the same kid.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So it makes sense in a way too, and it's also in Queens.
Makes even more sense. There you go. Okay, all right. No, just hold on a second. There's a lot of that being the central location because when they go to Justin Hammer when he takes Whiplash to the factory, which is around where we were, where in the movie this is just after Whiplash beats up Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then he gets his ass kicked and carted off, and then he breaks out of jail. Apparently, Justin Hammer fakes Whiplash's death.
Yeah.
And he mentions that while he takes him in, but the place he takes him in is also in Queens. So all this stuff is going down in one neighborhood. No wonder Spider-Man needs to protect it. Like, there's just mercenaries and fucking industrial complexes everywhere in Queens.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting too in the first Iron Man movie that it was all over in California. Right? Where we actually get to Stark Tower in New York. That whole thing was all over there on the West Coast.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so this one being in Iron Man 2, basically it shows a lot of him getting sick off the core, and pretty much trying to find. He's still trying to build new technology to like that. So pretty much he's just trying to drink. He's doing the lithium thing and keep recharging and trying to get better and whatnot, but nothing's really happening. You see,
what we do get. One thing we do get is well, you can confirm this for me. Is this the first appearance of Black Widow?
This is the first appearance of Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson comes in and pretty much becomes like a secretary for
a super sexy secretary. I don't know what that whole angle is. I guess she's playing off of him, which is what it is. But like you see, as soon as she gets there, they play up the theme of, oh, she's supposed to be super mysterious.
Yeah,
and he can't take his eyes off of her, but we think it's for one reason, but realistically,
she's pretty much there to spy on Tony Stark.
Yeah, we know she's there to spy on because we know who she's supposed to play as watchers. But also the movie does a good job of like kind of hiding the fact that he suspects something's up with her because it uses his nature against us. It makes us think, oh, he's just a horn dog.
Right.
The entire time, but like he's literally scoping her out for like, wait a second, something's up with her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, so I kind of like that aspect between the two of them, and also when she shows up, she's badass because she fucks that dude up.
Yeah,
he's like, "Do you know boxing?" And she goes, "You know, like Taibo, or did you take some after school classes?"
Fucks Happy Hogan again.
Yes, and she just rocks him. And that's just hilarious.
So crazy thing about this one is when Iron Man that kind of knows he's kind of dying and whatnot, he kind of gets out of, starts acting crazy. He gives the ownership to Pepper Potts, so he doesn't have to run it again, and pretty much just like he just doesn't want to be bothered with it. He starts getting drunk. He starts acting up.
Well, it should be said that Black Widow does give him a little bit of advice.
Yeah,
she asks her, "What would you do if you had one birthday party left?" And she says, "Do anything with anyone I want." And then you see him. The next scene is him just balls out in the Iron Man suit, just drunk.
Yeah,
just girls in bikini tops in his house, and he's shooting the lights out and falling, and it's terrible. But it's funny. It's done well.
So Pepper Potts calls James Rhodes in. James Rhodes takes over Iron Man's suit.
Oh wait, can we say also that James Rhodes is no longer Terrence Howard?
Yes,
he is now the blackest man on the planet, Don Cheadle. That works in every aspect because he is the blackest man color wise, and he is the blackest man metaphorically speaking because he'll whoop that ass. Because he threatens to. He threatens to, like, he's like, you better handle Tony because I'm gonna handle him. Like, that he threw that in there.
Yeah, me and the wife were very together. When we were watching the original too, it's like of all the things in that movie, I say, Terrence Howard was not.
Yeah,
true enough.
I was glad that they changed Terrence Howard.
I like Don Cheadle. I like where they went with the character with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, And we made the joke to ourselves when he looks back at the suit and goes, "Next time." It's like, not you.
Not you. True.
Nacho suit.
Exactly.
Oh man. So Don Cheadle.
Wasn't he not in the movie because of money? Like, didn't he want a lot of
I
money?
think it was a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I think he was like, I deserve more Marvel money. And they're like, "All right,
Nah.
buddy."
Hey, you know what? It was for the better.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Again, no one's sad about this except
Yeah.
for Terrence Howard, maybe.
Yeah, because look at
Because-
Don Cheadle
boy.
got that
Exactly.
Disney money.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so Don Cheadle puts on the Mark II suit,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much starts shit. This is probably one of my favorite scenes. This is probably one of the funniest scenes, and one of my favorite scenes is the fact that they start playing some Queen, and they start fighting. It's like like DJ play a good beat so I can whip my buddy's ass, and he starts laughing.
Oh shit! Well, you
So
know
then
what?
you actually-
I like that. I like that because that's a holdover from the books too. Whereas, like, they had a thing between the two of them where they would literally fight it out when one of them got out of control.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they just fucked each other up. War Machine stealing the suit. He pretty much take the suit. Everyone's like, "Oh, you could have like stopped the controller and things like that." But you know what? And then in the day, I think he just trusted Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't really do anything to really fuck him up and anything like that. Then you see the creation of War Machine, which Justin Hammer did his own technology to the War Machine suit, showed all his weapons, and he pretty much took everything and put it on the War Machine suit.
Yeah, it was basically a catch-all for all his stuff.
Yeah.
Look at me.
So this is also kind of like, you could say, like, it's the beginning of kind of what the Iron Legion became, because this was the first time it was a big bunch of robot organizations, one from Marines, armies, navies, and shit like that. It was pretty much a full robot army.
Mm-hmm.
And War Machine was supposed to be the lead of it.
Oh, do you know if this was, when they made this happen in the movie-wise, did the Iron Patriot already happen?
Yes, he was, but he was Norman Osborn in the comic.
No, yeah, I know he was Norman, but like he already existed.
He started, he already started it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it was because this was during the Dark Reign time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was like, oh no, we don't have to go into that. We don't have to go into that. That's okay.
Yeah, that was during the Dark Reign time. Anyway, so going into that, so basically you see the War Machine actually gets he took over the War Machine and actually puts the guns and everything like that. It made it pretty much the classic suit of what War Machine is in the comic books.
Yep.
I thought the suit was dope. I was happy they kept it to the original.
Yeah, me too. I was really happy about that.
It did have a different reactor core, but it was using the same technology of what Tony Stark's was.
Well, man, hey, listen, Don Cheadle wasn't dying like Tony Stark.
Yeah, exactly. So it was more of a battery than a person that actually keeping the person alive.
Yes.
What was one of the main plot big basis of it was for them. What was it? It was for his father's technology. Nick Fury comes in and fucking yells at him for going out of control and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that he was one of the founding. He was telling his father that his father was one of the founding members of the S.H.I.E.L.D. and that you should really understand what your father really did for you and everything like that. So he gave him a big box of his father's stuff. And also he was telling him that the reactor core was not that first stage. There was more to it, and you should really look into it because no one will understand this but you.
Gotcha.
And pretty much that's when he made the new reactor core, which is the triangle.
Ah, yes.
And pretty much it's a little thing that he could just take in and out. Nick Fury cured him. He took the whole shit out with one shot of things, and he's saying that we can help you, and this is why we're here to help you. And if you help me, like, it's more of a you help me, I help you kind of thing.
Yep. Basically.
And then it actually shows that Scarlett Johansson was working for him, and pretty much like that. So it shows the character of Black Widow and everything like that. And then, like that. So then you have Justin Hammer making his robots just like that. And now he's flipping out on Mickey Rourke's character because he's not doing it fast enough. He's not making it as a bodysuit, making him as drones and everything like that. So he's flipping out.
Yeah.
He takes his bird away, which was a big thing, and why he wanted to work was because of the bird. He wanted
his bird. Yep. He went, my bird.
My bird. Get my bird. There was a lot of things going on in this movie. Like there was a lot of different things, but this is something I actually really enjoyed watching it again. It shows a lot of the building of Iron Man and his different personalities and everything like that, and him dealing with certain things, the way he dealt with it. And it's still again like the flaw, like just the crazy flawed things that he did and how he does things and how he gets away with doing things and how he does things on the fly as well.
Yes. Also, how he deals with stress.
Yeah, and then we also got a new Iron Man montage of him building the new power core and him using Coulson watching him build this thing, and Coulson has an eye on him right now. And then you see the Captain America shield, and he uses that's the most important thing I need, and he just puts it to hold up the reactor.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. There was a lot of great things into this one that led into the new stuff. I think it's for the good and not for anything like that. So then you have the final scene, which is pretty much Mickey Rourke controlling all the robots, trying to destroy the con. The big. This was Justin Hammer's. I think it was like a press conference and shit that he was showing all the new technology he built and shit like that off of Mickey Rourke's. But Mickey Rourke took control of all the robots and started destroying everything.
Mm-hmm. I think he figured out the fatal flaw was putting people inside. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, and he was like that. So then Iron Man comes to try to save the day, and War Machine happened to be there with the press conference, and he also got controlled because Mickey Rourke did his costume as well.
Gotcha.
So he was controlled for the most part in the beginning, and Iron Man was on his own. There's a scene again with the little kid in the Iron Man suit about to blast one of the robots, and then Iron Man comes and shoots it and said, "Good job, kid." Spider-Man.
Oh, that's awesome.
But then they go at it. He finally gets control of the War Machine suit, and you see Iron Man and War Machine fight back to back and start whooping ass.
Yeah, that was a cool part. That was a really cool part. I mean, just because from a comic fan standpoint, that's something that you always want to see is Iron Man and War Machine together whooping that ass.
Of course.
Yeah. But the War Machine suit was pretty dope. I liked the way it looked.
I did too.
Them two standing back to back, and they just started fucking things up.
That scene was immaculate. Just the spinning camera.
Yeah. My only problem with this was when the main villain came in, the fight was too short.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I felt like
the bit for time there. Yeah, it's like But
the whole thing of them doing back to back was pretty dope. It was like any buddy action movie when they fucking do that shit.
I think that was more the vibe that it was trying to go for. Of, hey man, we're best pals.
We're happy and we're singing
our color.
It's the "I love you, man" moment.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Then you had Mickey Rourke come in with the Whiplash Crimson Dynamo looking suit. Again, this is the only scene that I would say that I wish the fight scene was longer. He did more damage to the Iron Man, but they looked like they pretty much just whooped his ass. And then they did the whole "Don't cross streams" scene.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
And blew him up. And goes on from there.
Yep.
The big thing was like starting their Revenge Initiative with this. Pretty much Nick Fury was a big part of getting that across that they're going to do something bigger beyond this.
So at the end of this one, do you remember what the stinger was or no?
This was New Mexico. Coulson got called in during the movie. Coulson got called in to go to New Mexico.
So this was the hammer.
This was they
supposed to find the hammer or the symbol on the ground or whatever.
They found it was the hammer.
It was the hammer. Okay.
Yeah. The hammer was brought down. They found the hammer, and this was the beginning of Thor. Pretty much, it was you see them driving up to New Mexico, and you see the first appearance of the hammer.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the movie I watched instead of Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Iron Man 2. I think for the second time watching it, going through it, I think I appreciated it a lot more for what the story it told.
Yeah, definitely. I can honestly say my opinion of the movie has changed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it was much more charming to me than I initially remember.
Yeah.
Like, I would remember just being turned off by Whiplash being two characters. Like, that
Yeah.
really bugged me at first.
Yeah.
Right.
But upon watching it now, I was like, oh, there's a lot of character in this movie too, like with the first one. So I guess that's a lot to do with the director, though. Like he still did his thing. So
John Favreau is a great director, and I think Iron Man, he built his legacy with Iron Man, and he really showed himself out there.
Mm-hmm.
I truly enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the first three of this cinematic universe. It goes to show, like, again, this is almost 10 years in the making, and all these movies still pretty much sell itself. Like, I think all the movies still are really rewatchable and to an extent,
Mm-hmm. I agree. They're not terrible. They don't make you feel bad.
I really enjoy watching these again, like just as the first time, and just really getting into showing the little nuances and a little homage to the comic, and finding those things like I found in Iron Man 2 and what I found in Iron Man 1, and just little things I didn't notice in the first time I saw it and what I noticed now.
Yep. A lot of the wordplay.
Yeah.
Okay. When in the scene when Justin Hammer was what was it, giving a deposition against him in court, where he was using the words sword and shield, like I was thinking those are two, you can't just say those words in the Marvel universe because those are two organizations.
Yeah.
Like, isn't sword like the equivalent of shield, but like they're the offensive or something like that. They don't plan out stuff and hide. They're the ones that go out and fuck shit up. Yeah.
But I truly enjoyed it. We're going to be doing this weekly now. They won't be as long as this one, because this one we had to explain 3 movies. The next one will be Thor for next week's podcast. We'll be doing the verdict on Thor. That'll be the 4th movie, and then Captain America will be the following week, and then we'll be the big mother of Avengers, the first Avengers.
I can tell you right now, Captain America 5 stars. Love that movie.
But so this is our verdict of our Marvel Cinematic Universe. Last but not least, I just want to get a little into. We got to play the beta of Dragon Ball Z Fighter. Me and Jenkins played it yesterday. He probably played it more today. I didn't get to play it today. Did you actually get? Is it easier to get fights now, or no? It's still pain in the ass to get a fight.
Well, it's just a waiting game. They just made it more bearable to wait. Like I said, it was pretty great that that they put the practice mode inside the game now, where you can just go into it and it's a lobby, and while you're in the practice mode, and it's not even just practice mode, there's a training mode that actually teaches you how to play the game. Again, this one second, and remember, I haven't played too many. So this one, only second to Squirrel Girls, and maybe even better, is fully teaches you how to play this game. Like, I like that when so it tells you this, hit this button to do this. All right, I did it. Why isn't it working? So a lot of it is depending on, like a fighting game, what side are you on? So then you need the reverse, right? Mm-hmm. But then it's like, all right, why is this still not working? And if I hit the start button, it's going to show me the input. And 90% of the time, it's like, oh, I'm not doing it fast enough. Because it shows you the speed. It shows you when you need to, like, one of the moves is like you got to tap down and hit up and hold up to get a longer jump. And I was like, why can't I do this higher jump? It's like, because I'm hitting it. Okay, I hit down and then I hit up. I hit down and then I hit up. And I'm just hopping. It's like, no, you hit down real quick and then hit and hold up. And it shows you that input.
Yeah.
Like, it explains. So I was like, oh, that's super helpful for people who just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'll just say that's like for people like me. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. It's like, why am I not doing this right? Oh, this is how you have to do it. So it's like, so that thing, it, like teaching you how to play, looks like it's going to be, easy to pick up, and you can smash X 5 times and you'll get a 7-hit combo. You know what I mean? But to get the stuff you really want to know how to do, it'll take hard to master. So it's wonderful. It still looks great on the One X because it is a 4K Xbox One enhanced game. So
it's a very beautiful game.
It's
Like
gorgeous.
that. It looks just like the anime, and you like fluent through the anime. The gameplay is pretty simple, simple in the extent that you can easily pick up, but it's more depth to the fighting. So you'll get better when you play more.
I've already seen some shit. I've already seen dudes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you've seen streams. After you got to do a 7-hit combo to get a Dragon Ball. You got to get all 7 of them to make a wish, and that's how that system works. Like you can get more health, or get ultimate power. Like 2 other things that you can do with the wish. Yeah, like, that's pretty good. And it's like, okay, I get this.
I'm digging it. I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to pre-order it this week. I enjoyed it. It's a very simple fighting game that you can easily get into. If you play more, you get better. I like the fact that they had the training mode because I was able to play that while waiting for a fight to get in. I did play a couple of rounds. I won 3. I lost 3. So it was fun.
Did they have any of the classic Dragon Ball music?
It was a lot of the music so far was pretty good. Like it was just like crazy. Like it was kind of like a metal-ish kind of thing.
Oh,
a lot of guitar riffs and shit.
So it's Arxis standard stuff.
It's definitely Arxis stuff. But it still feels good. And I like that the characters they're using the Japanese voice. I'm guessing when it releases, you'll have the option to, but for the game, it's just indirect, which I preferred anyway.
Yeah. I did like they had a lot of the characters available, so you was able to test run a lot of the characters. Like I was able to use Gohan, and I used Krillin, I used Vegeta.
And they put Kid Buu in this beta as opposed to the last one. I was mad though because I wanted to play with more 16. That shit is so dope. But they did put Nappa in, so if you needed another grappler, you could play with Nappa, which is hilarious because he has this move that he throws at one of the Cybermen, which is a fucking funny thing.
Was Yamcha in there?
Yamcha's in it. You also like the final blows and shit like that are pretty cool. If you catch someone with a super, you see them like blow up the whole fucking building and shit. Those are pretty little nuances that I like that they did. Like they're really over the top and fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty cool. I don't want to go that big into it because we're kind of running a little long. But yeah, definitely check the beta. I think the beta's today's the last day, or is throughout the week?
I don't know if it continues past the weekend, but I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
but it's going on right now if you want to play, and it's cool because it's not on one of those time things where this time of day, all right, then you gotta wait and this time of day. It's just it kicked off midnight on Friday into Saturday morning, so West Coast time. So now you just play it until it stops.
And the whole time you did not have to pre-order the game to play it. It was open. It was open beta.
It's open beta. Yeah, it wasn't a closed beta. It was an open beta.
So I think it comes out next week, next Friday.
If you pre-ordered it, you got to play it earlier. Like you got to play it Friday.
Okay.
That's what that was. You just got to play it a day earlier than everyone else, and then it opened up for everyone else.
Yeah.
2 other things, and I'll let it go. So I just wanted to mention it. Big fan. I know this is a me thing, but people know about it. It's out there. It's the fucking Overwatch League kicked off on Thursday, and it's been it was Thursday or Friday. Wednesday, it was the 10th, whatever the day the 10th was, which I believe
Thursday. You can't use here.
Well, no, that was the
Wednesday. Then
that was the second day. So it kicked off Wednesday, and Overwatch League was, it started off, and it's doing it, man. It's doing a lot of cool things. Like they're doing it different than other Major League Gaming stuff. Like you just have to see how they're presenting. Like they're treating it like they're treating it like every other like it's a real league, not like it's a real league. Like it's
like a playoff. It looks like a playoff
on Overwatch League's Twitch channel. That's where they have a contract with Twitch. So that's where it's airing. When it goes, you can go to our Watch League website to look at the games and when they're going up. They're in the phase 1, and it's 6 months, 40 games until finals in July.
Yeah, it looks like a NCAA tournament bracket. The plays like that.
It's traded just like any other sports you've ever seen it. Because I've seen some Dota stuff. It seems like the way it's done, it's definitely different. I'm hoping it gets bigger so they can actually travel, like the teams, to go to different places. But it's all currently taking place in Los Angeles. That's where their studio is, their stadium type thing. But the presentation has just been amazing. They've gotten really good at how they do it. Go on. I'm sorry.
We'll just put the link for the tournament on the YouTube thing, so everyone can check it out if they want to check it out. The link of the Twitch.
Definitely. And one last thing, I watched the last Dave Chappelle's final special on Netflix today with the wife. It's fantastic. Just I'll just leave you with that one. If you haven't got around to seeing it, get that. It's pretty good.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up. This has been another episode of It Gets Better, I Swear. This has been a long one and a different one.
The verdict.
Back. All right.
It's awesome.
Hopefully next week we can do our verdict on Thor.
Yep.
And you can catch more stuff on RedCycloneInc's YouTube. Mass Effect 2 playthroughs going on. Lost Planet 1 just ended. Mark with the Mike's got stuff going up.
Yeah, Twitch. I've been on Twitch. I've been trying to do it every Thursday and Friday. I'll get something up. So I did my first 2 parts of Skyrim, The Adventures of Loki. Yay, Loki. And because if you see my Khajiit character, it looks a lot like my cat Loki. And then I'm also I started Yakuza, started the beginning of the storyline. I didn't know how much dialogue it is, so I was like, my bad. It was all dialogue.
That game is long and it's a lot of reading.
Yeah, and I did the karaoke. I think that was the first thing I did in the karaoke thing, so which is cool. And if you see the picture, it's part of the karaoke picture. My next thing, I'll be continuing. I'll do the 3rd part of my Skyrim Adventures of Loki this Friday, and I'll probably do a playthrough of Sunset Riders, and I'll start doing the WWE predictions for Royal Rumble on my YouTube channel.
Gotcha. Okay, cool beans. Also, I would like to say, if anybody has ever expressed any interest in the Lords of Shadow franchise, that is the remake of Castlevania done by Kojima and Mercury Stream, don't ever be interested. It was shit to begin with. I recently began trying to play that for a playthrough, and I realized those games weren't good.
Yeah.
They look pretty. The first one looks pretty. It's not that fun to play.
Yeah. Oh, and last but not least, Enchantress came out on Injustice, so that means Ninja Turtles is next month.
Yep. Awesome.
That is it.
And don't forget to follow me, and I will show you the way.
Yeah.
I will show you the way.